This program is brought to you by Link TV for educational and non-commercial use only. Mosaic, a daily news program from Link TV, presents a selection of news reports from independent and state-controlled broadcasters from throughout the Middle East.
A series of explosions shook Baghdad, the capital of Iraq. The U.S. Army said that a fire erupted in an ammunition depot at a U.S. military base in the Dora area, south of the Iraqi capital, causing a series of explosions. The Army said that no casualties were reported as a result of these explosions. The Minister of Immigration said that 51,000 Iraqi families were forced to leave their homes and relocate to safer areas due to sectarian violence.
A series of explosions shook Baghdad in the middle of the night. Some mortars also landed in the neighborhoods of Mansour, Harriya, Bay'a, Dorra, and Bashir al-Mu'allaf. No casualties were reported. A U.S. military spokesman said that a fire erupted in an ammo depot that stored mortar shells, tank missiles, as well as light weapons, munitions in the Saqr base in the Rashid area south of the capital. The spokesman said that the military base did not have soldiers or civilians in its military command centers, located in the areas of Dorra, Saidiyya, and Yusufiyya south of Baghdad. In an unconfirmed statement on the internet, the Islamic Army in Iraq claimed to have attacked the military base using mortar shells and missiles. The base has been used to train Iraqi army forces and to hold graduation ceremonies. While night was lit with explosions, the days in Iraq are darkened with the systematic killings and torture of tens of Iraqis, according to official surveys. The finger of accusations is being pointed at the so-called terrorists, death squads, or sometimes Iraqi security agencies and groups wearing their uniforms. Thousands of families have been forced to migrate and leave their homes, fleeing from the sectarian violence. Families are being targeted regardless of whether they are Sunnis or Shiites. According to statistics, more than 50,000 families have fled their homes to considerably safer areas. Those who are well-to-do have been able to leave the country. Others have just vanished. Their bodies were never found and no one has heard anything about them.
The U.S. Army announced today that 5 of its soldiers died in separate attacks in Iraq, including 3 Marines. In Diwaniyah, 11 members of the Medhi militia were killed in conflicts yesterday. Also, according to the U.S. Army, 7 armed fighters were killed in Ramadi in an air raid that targeted a building in the city.
The Salah ad-Din Brigades, one of the armed groups in Iraq, posted video footage on the internet showing the explosions going off at the American military base in the Dura area south of Baghdad. The group said that it was able to record the missile attack on the base, which was carried out by the Islamic Army in Iraq and the Army of Fatahin. The footage could not be verified by an independent source. North Korea threatened to conduct more nuclear tests if the U.S. does not stop exerting pressure on it, which Pyongyang considers equivalent to a declaration of war. Pyongyang said that it is ready for confrontation or negotiations.
Despite international threats to impose sanctions on North Korea after its latest nuclear test, this isolated communist country seems to be willing to defy the world more than ever before. North Korean officials threaten to launch missiles with nuclear warheads and conduct more nuclear tests if the U.S. does not compromise and reverse its policy towards Pyongyang. They also warn that imposing strict sanctions on North Korea will be equivalent to a declaration of war. Japanese media outlets published reports saying that North Korea conducted a new nuclear test. This comes as the Japanese Weather Forecasting Agency detected a seismic event registering 5.8 on the Richter scale. This quake was detected in the Pacific Ocean more than 1,000